Now.
Am I loud? Am I too loud?
No, I'm talking about the YouTube volume.
Oh shit! Good call.
All right, let's cussing.
First 2 seconds.
First 5 minutes, please.
No, first 2 seconds. Got a S word in there. 4 letters.
Excellent.
Bam. What's up, Fantinuum?
Fantinuum's here. Hey, how's it going? This will not affect you, but I want to tell some store news right at the very beginning.
Whoa. Is it flipping back and forth on you?
Yeah, it's just the way it's supposed to.
No. That's not what I mean. I mean, my camp. Yeah, it is.
What?
My camera is flipping back and forth. It's mirrored, and I thought I unmirrored it, but apparently on YouTube it's still mirrored, even though for me it's not mirrored. I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You can't read the spine titles anyway. Tell me some stuff about comics books, Yule, like this week and last week, and what are we doing?
Well, first, I wanted to talk about the store just for a moment for anybody that's tuning in for the first time. Or, it doesn't have to be now. It can be later. We did not get our comic books yet for the week that is starting tomorrow. So what is it? Tomorrow's the 27th. Normally we would have our comics in today. We would put them out on the shelf and then we'd go home, obviously have a show here or there. And then we would show the comic books that are coming out that we're interested. And I'd flip through some of the ones that I read. So it's going to be a little different since we're here at my house because we didn't get any books and we're going to be waiting till later on in the day tomorrow. Who knows when? We'll keep you apprised on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. You just have to follow Fantastic Comics on all those platforms or any or all. And we will let you know when the books are in. If you have a hold, don't worry about it. We'll still be holding your stuff before you come in. Unless, of course, you come in before we get new comic books.
Or unless, of course, you ordered She-Hulk.
Wait, what?
In which case you'll never get it, and therefore...
I don't understand that at all.
Wasn't She-Hulk 13 like really, really short ordered or short supplied?
No, you're thinking Immortal Hulk.
Man, I shouldn't have bought 50 of them, huh?
I don't know. I think it wasn't necessarily just our store that this happened to, but it seemed like we got none, whereas some, or at least got some of the books.
Well, hey man, you want to buy some of my She-Hulk 13s?
I'm talking about Immortal Hulk 13.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to run with a joke, dum-dum.
Oh, I see. I didn't get that one. I now get it, of course, but you said dum-dum and all that stuff, so I'm just going to be upset now.
I love you, man. You're so fun. It's good to see you, buddy. It's been a week, and it's been a hell of a week, and you didn't get your shipment, and that is a poopy pants decision on the part of UPS.
Actually, it did happen to be UPS. I kind of bitched out Diamond on Twitter, as you know, they're a monopoly and all, and everyone's.
And that's definitely the venue to do it, right? You go full negative on Twitter.
Well, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I just said, this is what happens when you only have one choice, But it was UPS when you have more than UPS as a choice. But it just happened that today it just happened to anybody out here that uses them. If you don't use UPS, you got a leg up on us tomorrow.
Well, what would they use?
I think obviously there's FedEx. That's a big company.
I mean, no, it's determined by Diamond, dude.
No. Well, they have different people that they go through, I'm assuming.
Are you sure? I don't think so. I bet you they have a really, really good corporate rate through one of those two companies, not both.
No. I know a store that vacillated from UPS to FedEx, saw that FedEx was really bad, went back to UPS.
Huh? How do you decide? Because you're not the one shipping it,
dude. I don't know. I just assume you get a choice if it's within your area. There you go. There was another one that Rory would always use back in
DHL.
No, it was like a local kind of guy.
Oh, just a dude? He'd go to the warehouse and pick up Rory's stuff for him and bring it?
He did that around the area, yeah. I mean, there's people that use him, but I don't personally.
Yeah, don't use DHL.
Don't use DHL.
No,
Okay.
no, do not use DHL. I would use that Private Guy personally.
No, I never really liked using his service when I worked at Comic Relief.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just hated. I don't know. It would always seem like we were waiting for our stuff more often than not. I kind of weigh out the bad of that as opposed to the bad of UPS once in a while pulling their shenanigans.
So did you even go into work today?
I was in for a little while. The problem I have with Diamond is that they didn't let us know that this was going to happen.
How would they know?
They know when their stuff isn't getting somewhere.
They do?
Yeah. But they didn't let us know.
Well, you're a small comic book store in a small little town in Dinky Potts. What state are you in?
California?
Some little dinky state, right?
Yeah, this is
You're not even in a college town, man.
No, we are in a college town.
Now, you're in the smallest state of the union with no population in a tiniest little town with no college. I mean, duh, you're not getting your shipment.
Yeah, well, the West Coast, the West may be the best, but we still get screwed when it's the Oscars and stuff like that. Have to watch it like 3 hours later.
Just be glad you guys don't get typhoons.
You're hardly so removed from here that you can say "you guys" so with such disdain.
What? I'm not anywhere close to the Pacific Ocean.
You can't shed the California that easily just because you're hanging out in New Mexico right now.
Dude, I'm two full states away. I mean, I'm 1,100 miles away from the Pacific Ocean.
I'm not sure enough time has passed still.
It's been a third of a year.
We usually have a rule at the store. Any problems that we have, we blame on the person who doesn't work with us, who hasn't worked with us most recently. So, we blame Heather for everything that's going on right now.
Does she still work for you?
No, she doesn't. That's why we're blaming her.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was all.
Oh, that's obvious, something that Heather obviously did. We usually say, "Oh, you didn't pay that bill? It's probably Heather's fault."
Yep, blame the woman. Got it.
Well, no. Just the last person to work for us.
No, in this particular case, it's a woman. Therefore, you were wrong. Ask Jill. I know she's there. She's just waiting. She's right outside the door.
I tell you all sorts of things about this guy.
Oh man, I do miss y'all. But you know what? We spend a fair amount of time together in this medium now.
Yeah, sure we do. I'm glad we started doing it.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's kind of crazy. Did you see that? I want to say there were seven new subscribers to the channel in the last 28 days.
Yeah, I did notice that. I've been working hard.
Yeah, it's a good job, man. Because I'm certainly not doing it. But you know what also tells me is that the year and a half that I spent editing videos was arguably not that valuable.
I disagree. I feel it has helped me out quite a bit with my being comfortable with being on camera.
Oh, no, I agree to that. Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, if only that, having a conversation.
It's not that it's not with, there is value in what we did. Don't get me wrong. But the editing was completely unnecessary.
Well, maybe so much of it, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh. Sad but true. Sad but true. It's all right. I don't mind.
I mean, it was nice because
I learned a lot.
Yeah, and as far as like putting together a thing, it's good. I like looking back on that.
Yes. I think we might end up deleting those videos, though, don't you think?
Why?
Because they're taking up valuable bandwidth for YouTube.
Oh, does that matter?
No, not at all.
Well, the thing I've noticed is when someone gets into something, they usually want to go back and look at some of the other things, even though we have some time-sensitive materials. If someone doesn't know anything about them, it still kind of counts.
That's an understatement, that time-sensitive thing.
Well, it does, just because those stories have occurred and taken place doesn't mean that a person coming in knows anything about them. So there's still some valuable, at least, reviews, or at least, something that not everything's collected, or not everything, gets stays in print. So at least this is kind of like a little memoir for those things.
Yep. You're right. We did a lot of them too.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know how many, but something like 70.
Well, we were doing at least like 5 things an episode for a while. So if it was a review show, it was 5 things. And if it was a preview, I think it was at least 5 things.
Yeah.
And then we did the news for a little while.
That was boring. I didn't enjoy that part.
Well, you didn't want to do any of that Stanley, that poor guy. We got to see his total.
Dude, I don't give a rat's bottom for Stanley. Never have. Don't care. The man means nothing to me. He didn't create anything I like. He's not a creator, in my opinion. I mean, he is a creator, but he didn't create anything I like. So he's been in movies I don't care about.
Mm-hmm.
It is cold, but he's dead.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, publishing comic books, kind of the way at their height was kind of because of Stan Lee.
We can say that about him, but it's not entirely true. I mean, he's not the reason that comics are popular. He's not the reason that Marvel exists.
Well, in some ways he is. I mean, he was like related to the company. There's a whole book about it
that I'm not going to read.
The Untold Tales of Marvel Comics.
God, and they keep telling them, it's like, get your Bible right. The retold tale of Marvel. Oh.
It talks a lot about publishing in New York, in the 20s and 30s and stuff like that, and how it started up, and it's quite the racket.
It was a racket?
Yeah, without a doubt.
How so?
Well, I don't know every detail about it, but it was now I'm just reaching for words. I can't tell you all the things about it. I just know that it was it was hardcore, man.
Tell me nothing about it, you know what I mean?
It was I think it was like the Jewish mafia type stuff, going on. It was
speaking of the Jewish mafia.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Did you know that the is it mumps? Measles. It's the measles outbreak in New York right now. You know about that?
I know that it's been going on recently, yes.
It's been going on for more than a year. It's affected something like 400 people now. And so I was trying to figure out, my buddy said something, I don't want to get off track. I'll talk about that later. But it's almost completely contained within the Jewish community.
Why so?
I think that the Hasid do not get inoculated. That's a guess, but I'm not sure. But I read that today that it was almost completely contained within. There were some things that were like quotes of like the people that work for the CDC or the local health authority were going door to door, and there were some quotes, and I was like, damn, that's unfriendly, because they're being told, like, don't come back here, you're not welcome here, and stuff like that. And I was like, what? Now, who would say something like that? That seems weird. And then the article went on to talk about the communities that are affected. And I remember this girl that I dated in New York, and she said that they do not care if you live or die. They drive these minivans around, and they
just pile people up?
No, they just don't care. They don't care about anybody that's outside of the community.
Huh.
But I mean, that kind of makes sense, because that's the way a lot of communities are, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't care about people that don't read science fiction. They can all drop dead, if I'm being honest.
Wow. Drop dead. Whew.
Yeah. In my minivan, I'll hit them. I'll just ride right up to them, and bam. You don't read science fiction, I can tell by the way you walk.
Wow.
Yep.
Funny enough, it would be the science fiction people you think you'd be able to hit easier.
That's good. That's really good. I am a genreist, I think is the technical term for my form of ism.
Yes,
Genreism,
sure.
I
Sean,
believe. Yes, I'm a genreist, and I want to make sure that everybody that doesn't read science fiction or fantasy dies a painful, horrible death. And I'm going to start a militia tomorrow and train others to help me. Yeah, yep. Minivan murder as many non like me people as there can be hit in one day.
Wait, are you are you talking small individuals?
Wait, why?
You said a mini murder spree?
No, minivan.
Oh, a minivan.
Minivan murder spree.
A minivan murder spree.
Yes.
And you're just knocking off people that don't like genre fiction.
Essentially, I'm going to wait until there are conventions, like sci-fi conventions. So I know that everybody like me is safely at the convention, and then I will just go nuts in public.
Are you going to get a ticket for that convention first?
Yeah, I'll probably go after. Oh.
Well, all right, everybody, coming to a convention near you.
Well, actually, one of the things I've been thinking about this week is stories. I'm always trying to think of stories, right? And I was wondering what the process would look like for somebody who became militant. Like, how do people become crazy? I seen it happen. I didn't really know it was happening at the time, but I've seen somebody go from what seemed to be rather moderate to completely crazy.
You mean like over the course of time?
Yes, over the course of a couple of years, like living in an echo chamber, going from being able to have a conversation to being completely unable to hear what other people are saying. And what do they call that? It's not becoming militant. It's not becoming a zealot. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Right.
I did read about the Unabomber at one point in time, quite a long time ago. But yeah, that's probably a good starting point, because at least he was just one guy. I just wish I could remember these words sometimes. It bothers me that my memory is not as great as it used to be.
But was he like really crazy? The Unabomber? I mean, he had a manifesto, and
he was crazy.
He was doing things that we wouldn't say are sane, but
you mean like teaching math? Yep.
I mean, but was he like, he's not, I mean, he knew how to do things. He was able to function, right? He wasn't like eating his own feces or anything like that.
I don't know, dude. I don't know anything about anybody eating their own poo.
Oh yeah, sure.
Really? I accused Jeremiah of something similar recently. It was a lot of fun. So Fantinium, there's some pretty interesting stuff out there about the brain. And okay, so we know that like the repeated impacts that football players get and stuff, we know that creates problems in the brain, and you can see it in several different types of scans. But there's a really good video on right now that PBS put out. It's on YouTube somewhere. It's talking about the gut biome, like the bacteria that are in your stomach. And MRIs show it up too. And there's something else. There's a SPECT scan that you can get. But anyway, the article about the gut biome and how it affects your brain is very, very interesting. And there were a couple of other ones. Like there was a woman whose son, he got an inoculation, and they assumed that it was the inoculation that caused his autism. But the mother, it's a good video and you should watch it. I can't tell you what it is, but it's out there. It turned out that he had a bacteria in his stomach, and that particular bacteria, because of what was it called? Antibiotic treatment that he had gotten, replaced all of the good gut bacteria that were there, and they put off a particular type of chemical that was causing his autism, essentially. But anyway,
Was it a vaccination?
the vaccine did not cause the autism. It was the antibiotics that allowed that bacteria to get into his stomach that did.
Oh, I see.
Because the antibiotics killed all of the bacteria in his body, and then he was colonized by something bad, and that something bad made him crazy. And it's permanent. It's not something that they can get rid of. Like they used another antibiotic treatment to kill it, and he became a normal child again for like 2 or 3 weeks. But they, I guess they can't get rid of that bacteria completely, and it just keeps coming back. Wait, hold on. The vaccination causing autism was already debunked 10 years ago. The doctor who wrote the paper was a scam artist. He made it up for fame. Yeah, well, try convincing any crazy person to read, 1, an article, 2, that makes sense, 3, and use logic or reason, 4. Go for it. Well, challenge accepted.
I heard actually Heather was in the store the other day, and she said that it was debunked, that whole blood splatter theory, as far as looking for, forensic evidence and stuff like that.
What?
I don't know. I guess the person who created it is not, he like falsified all his information and everything.
Yeah. But you're talking about blood splatter that does what now?
You know how like there's a crime scene and you do the analysis on the blood splatter and you come up with a conclusion on like what maybe happened. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm simplifying it obviously, because I don't know much. I only watch CSI from time to time.
I don't believe it.
You don't think it's fake?
No.
Well, I guess that's what she was telling me. I didn't look into it. It sounds good, but let's talk comics.
No, this could be a comic book. This could be a comic book. We're talking about stories, Yule, and today is a different day. It's an abnormal day because, as you said, you do not have any of the comics except for 2 of the ones that you read. So we don't have a preview for next week, and we've only got 2/5 of what we normally have for the past week. So we're winging it, buddy. This is a wing it kind of episode.
A wing it episode.
Yeah. Speaking of wings, no, the reason I don't believe, well, I would like to know exactly what she said. So I'll go and try to find that article. But I think there's stuff that you can tell from blood splatter, honest to God. I really do. Like direction of, I don't know, man. I've been surprised before, and sometimes the stuff I think is just wrong. Just not true. So I don't know.
It seems like blood splatter would make sense because like we do that with like windows when they get busted out and stuff like that.
But maybe it's all built on the foundation of blood splatter. Oh no.
There you go.
That would be a mess. I think forensic science is pretty well established though. So I'm gonna leave it to the experts, and I'm not gonna really worry about it. Oh, dude, have you ever seen those lights that they can use to, I know you've seen it on TV, right? Where you shine like this blue light on the walls and you're like, oh my God, look at all the blood. Well, that's real.
Not blood. It's the other stuff.
Okay. So I've got this flashlight, right? And it's either blue light or white light. And it's LED, it's different kinds of LEDs or whatever. And the guy that gave it to me, he thought he was getting fired from the company I was working for because I think he got drunk and then drove the truck through a fence and like made a big mess. And like people found out that, something's not right. The cops looked at it and they were like, this is not, his story is not check out. So they think he was drunk driving and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he thought he was getting fired. So he gave me his flashlight and he used the blue light to go into hotel rooms and be like, scan. Nope, I'm not staying in this room. That's what he used it for. And now I have it.
Yeah. It's better off not knowing.
Hey, Corey, what's going on? I wonder, do identical twins have different fingerprints? So if we didn't have fingerprints, we wouldn't be able to grip stuff. That's a thing. Like everything would just slip out of our fingers. I don't think they need to be unique.
I'm looking at my fingers right now.
Yeah. Who was the dude that cut his fingernail or his fingertips off, like shaved them off with a little razor blade? Is that a fictional character or is that a real person?
I don't know anything about that.
So they wouldn't leave fingerprints behind.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you could sand down your fingers.
I thought it was a movie. Maybe it's not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Welcome to the Forensics Show, ladies and gentlemen, where we're going to talk about science. Science. That's right. Science.
Have you heard anything about this blood splatter thing being fake?
Blood splatter regarding what?
Like analysis, like the person.
Face, Jill, your face.
Oh, just it's probably. I have heard. Well, I listened to enough true crime stuff to where it's been talked about before.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce Jill Bryce. Jill Bryce. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen.
It's like polygraph tests. They always say, "Don't take one."
See, Corey knows. Corey knows. So there's a way to fool a polygraph test, just like there's a way to fool a breathalyzer.
It just gauges whether you feel guilty or not, basically. So
yeah, if you have no control over your
anything.
you have no control over your emotional state, then yeah, polygraph probably work just fine. But if you meditate and stuff like that, and you have breathing exercises that help you keep your heart rate down, you'll probably be fine.
And people that are just super nervous in general are going to probably just be all over the place.
That's true. That's true. I mean, just being questioned with the lie detector on would. Hey, Corey said hi, Jill.
Hi, Corey.
Can you see chat?
What?
Yes. Yes, we can.
What's going on?
Jill's confused. It's not an unusual thing. It's just it's just happening now. No big deal.
We're on a delay.
Also, eyewitness testimony, hardly reliable.
Dude, that is, I mean, to me, that's, that should never have been allowed. Ever. Like, how many times have you how many times have you had a conversation with somebody like that? Did I ever tell you about the raccoon attack that Tyler and I both witnessed?
Probably, but I don't.
The dogs going under the bridge. The dogs lived under the bridge right by our house by the Children's Hospital at 47th and Martin Luther King or whatever.
Was this in Oakland?
Yes. Yeah, North Oakland, right by the Children's Hospital and the BART tracks. Anyway, the freeway, so it's BART tracks, then the Children's Hospital, and then the freeway, and then you're on Telegraph Avenue or Shattuck or something like that. So anyway, that spot, okay, Tyler and I were going to do laundry. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. We went and did laundry, and on the way back, there were like 5 dogs chasing 2 raccoons across the street right in front of us, getting out of the ivy and like busting out. And
watch out for that Berkeley ivy.
What?
Nothing.
Sorry.
There's ivy there. They planted under the bridges for whatever reason. But anyway, they come busting out of there, and Tyler and I remember that event completely differently. The ending in particular. Neither one of us would argue that, no dogs came out of there and there were no raccoons, but he remembers it differently than I do.
You guys probably both on 2 entirely different drugs.
Nope. We might have been both high at the time. It was very early in my time in California. I was not doing any drugs at the time. I don't even think I was smoking weed then.
Tyler had to definitely be high.
That doesn't matter.
Oh, whatever.
No. I'm just saying, like, his testimony and my testimony, they conflict. And we saw the same damn thing. Same thing.
So
you can't trust eyewitness testimony.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm not a special person in the sense that I'm not like a important lawmaker or a scientist or even a reliable logical thinker, and I know that. So why did they trust that testimony in the first place? Why did anybody in the criminal justice system take that information and run with it? Just be like, yes, eyewitness.
What case is this regarding?
I don't know.
Any.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you guys read chat? Because I'm reading chat.
Yeah, I'm reading chat.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Maybe that's one reason why I hate Dexter so much.
Dexter was also mentioned in chat. Yep.
No, he was a blood analysis person. Anyway,
Corey remembers.
get that
Corey
shit.
remembers. Well. All right, so let's see.
Raccoons?
What?
Remembers what? The raccoons?
I assume so. We knew her then, or very close to then.
There you go.
What? We've known Corey a long time.
Yeah, we know.
Wait a minute. What year did y'all move up to the Bay Area?
I've born and raised here, my man. I've been here forever.
99.
Sure. Sure.
99.
Well, you asked.
I remember the story. Yeah, see, Corey remembers. You were
but
here in 99. I don't know who I met first, honestly. I think I met Corey first.
Oh, you mean person in the Bay Area? I thought you meant between me and Yule.
No, yeah, between you and Corey. Like I met y'all at the same time, and then I think
you were definitely friends with Corey when I met you.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But I think I met y'all. Well, whatever. It's really, really important that we hammer this out now.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone needs to know.
How many people are watching right now, Yule?
I'm going to say 4.
Oh, so me and you and Corey and one other person.
I'm going to say 3.
I'm
I'm going to say 3 now.
That's fine. That's
Corey and Fantinuum.
Oh, so you're not watching anymore?
I am, but then there's somebody else. Who's the somebody else?
Heroic mushrooms. Corey, we're not going to talk about that today.
There's a lot of stories related to that house, related to other things.
I did bad things. We're not talking about things I've done bad today. I'm in a good mood. I want to stay that way.
I only remember one actually positive story. Well, more than one, but the one I like to remember is you said one time you thought you and Tyler were like psychic or something, or you guys could like predict something or what was going to happen next.
I have no idea, but I've definitely had that
or something.
I don't know. Maybe Corey remembers because I don't remember. Well, whatever. I've had weird mind reading experiences with those more than once.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Yeah,
I've totally done that before, like with multiple people at the same time.
That's cool too. Yeah, that's really neat.
I swear to God, it's amazing.
Corey said she was there.
I believe it.
It was that when you guys were out in the dark.
I was a spider. I wonder what if my spirit animal is a spider and really deep down I am a spider.
It is. You're very spidery to me.
What if my ancestors are arachnid in nature? What if?
Arachnid in nature?
What if you're like an Anansi boy? You're definitely an Anansi boy.
That's a reference to a comic book. Maybe we can use it as a segue.
No, that's a Neil Gaiman novel.
Close enough, man.
That's the case. I'll make my exit.
You need that hook that they use, the shepherdess hook, where they crook you and pull you off stage.
No peep.
Yes. Yes, we need that right now. That would be the best. I gotta stop talking so people could see it.
Zoink.
Just hang out back here.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm waiting for the hook to come and pull her out of there.
Yeah.
Bye, Jill. I do remember the magic hippies coming out of the bushes. Yes, and the water. Yes, I do remember that. Okay, so Yule.
Yes.
At the very, very least, tell me what you read.
All right.
Let's talk about comic books. Hey, who's in chat, by the way? It's Corey and Fantinuum. Is there anybody else in chat? If you were there, hi. Welcome to the show. We're going to talk about comic books for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Welcome. If anybody has any questions or wants to talk about anything specifically, go ahead and put it in the chat. We'll reference it. I want you to know.
We don't really read chat, though, so ignore what he said.
No, we read it. And
we don't.
Hey, everything's different. We're reading chat. Woo.
We read chat regardless of things being different.
That's right. I just go back and read it. Is the only thing.
I'm on it. Don't worry about him.
I want you to know that I wrote.
You wrote a story?
I wrote this stuff right here. Look at it.
Awesome. What'd you write?
It's a little things to try and get me to remember what happened in these comic books.
Is this a mnemonic thing that you're doing? Oh, you took notes about the comics.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, I know that I often don't really say whether I. Oh my goodness. Okay.
This is a really good story. I think you should go on.
I know I don't really tell people what my true feelings on comics are all the time. That I'm still a salesman, I still own a store, and I don't necessarily want the crappy stuff to sit on the shelf. So saying something negative about something, I try and, it's my dad would always say, there's always something nice to say to a girl. Well, there's always something about a comic book you can say nice things about.
That's true of everything, I believe.
Sure. So,
Even people.
I think comic books and comic book stores especially are built for a certain amount of negativity, or at least something that, you get extra critique, a little mustard on the critique than you normally would on something that wasn't, like sports. People get really irate about that. Comic books kind of evoke a lot of that same philosophy or feelings, because I found that like a lot of comic book fans aren't sports fans or necessarily, big sports fans, but they are big comic book fans, but they kind of have a lot of the same kind of passion for what they like. So anyhow, I wrote some reviews down. Or at least, some encapsulations about what the book is, so that we can have a further conversation if this should strike you as something you want to read or talk about.
Yep, that sounds good.
Does that make any sense?
I know what you're going for, but I know you well. So I'm not sure if everybody does, but I do.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to talk a little bit more about what I'm going to read to you, let me we'll expound on it. How's that?
Yeah, man, go for it.
So these are the books that came out last Wednesday on the 20th that I read, that I want to tell you about. And the first one is Black Badge number 8.
All right. I'm actually interested in this one, so go for it.
Yeah, Black Badge is written by Matt Kent with art by Tyler Jenkins. And previously, the Black Badges won the Scout Jamboree that they were a part of. And as a result of winning, they were given some R&R. They also learned during the Jamboree that the Honor Society has infiltrated the White Badges. And this issue follows our heroes, the Black Badges, around as they go and do their everyday life type stuff. But we're watching them as reported by different members of the White Badges.
Sorry.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Are the White Badges a group that we could say are diametrically opposed to the Black Badges?
Man, I don't have like all the different badges written down or memorized, but basically the White Badges were good at something. And then there's the Green Badges, and they're good at something, whether it be like explode or technicians, I guess, or explosives, or maybe communication or some other type things. What the Black Badges are not great at any one thing, but they are all great at everything. And that's what makes the Black Badges a unique squad as opposed to all the other ones.
So they're a little more talented, perhaps?
Yeah, talented. They have a little bit more,
elite.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you like stories about people who are elite?
Yeah, I guess I do. I mean, again, the Black Badges, nobody is like the top of the class on any one thing. They're just all above average and better than most at everything. But,
so would you refer to them as elite?
Yeah, I guess so. At least overall, as a squad, they are.
Well, are they is there strength in that they are each and every one of them broadly talented, and so therefore the group of them is
well? See, so you send in the whatever badges when you need to do something like blow something up. They're going to get the job done. But if the mission calls for blowing something up and some sort of espionage type thing going on, you can't just you don't want all the different groups working together. So the black badges are the way to go in that situation.
So wouldn't they really be better off just cultivating James Bond?
I guess so.
Isn't he a one-man army?
No, I don't know about that.
Okay. But you read this book, correct?
Yes.
How'd you feel about it?
I liked it a lot. And I liked it because at the same time, we were being introduced to other characters through their examinations of our characters who we are getting information on. It's like it's mirrored. It's like when you hold a mirror up against a mirror, it's just infinite actually in its uniqueness, I guess, and storytelling. It's really well done. Matt Kindt is excellent. Very good stuff.
Nice. Have you ever told Matt Kindt that you think he's good?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, without a doubt. I've added him on tweets and he has liked and retweeted stuff, and he's been in the store, so he signed for us a long time ago.
Nice.
He's a St. Louis Cardinals fan.
Well, I think you should forgive him for that one and get him back in the store.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I like him a lot.
Can you get him back in the store?
I don't know, maybe.
Try.
Well, we'll see what's up. Don't put me on the spot like that. I'm sick of it.
I'm going to put you on the spot. This costs money, though, if I'm not mistaken, right? You have to pay people to come.
Well, I mean, in the very least, you have to put him up and fly him in.
Yeah.
There you go.
I do know. That's cool, though.
Yeah. And he's really cool. He was a really good guy. He's got a very arty streak to him. He had, I wish we knew I was going to talk like this about him. When he was doing a signing, he has certain spots in certain books of his where he will just burn them, the pages, because that's a spot that he left for that to actually happen within the book. So each burn is obviously going to be a little different. So here he is, like, without us knowing at first, he's burning stuff in the store. It was cool.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm confused. What is he burning?
All right, so he had a signing. We had books like Spy. Oh God, I can't think of the name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That Mind Management, Grass Kings, whatever it was that he was signing at the time. I think Mind Management was the big one. Anyway, if you brought in the collection of Mind Management, he would be like, "Do you mind if I sign this my personal way?" And he's all, "I've got this lighter here," and so he burns the book. He holds the book up, he burns it, waits a few seconds, then puts it out, and then you've got a unique burnt comic by Matt Kindt.
That is pretty cool, man.
I figured you'd like that.
No, I do like that. I do like that a lot. Hey, did you ever figure out who shot their first issue?
Who shot their first issue? You mean like put a hole through it?
Bullet hole. Yeah, I thought it was Shannon Wheeler.
Look, I remember there was one by the Protectors, but no, it was not Too Much Coffee, man.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure.
Are you really 100%? Or are you 99% sure?
I'm 100% sure.
You're just saying that. I know you're just saying that.
No, I'm 100% sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll look it up while we talk.
You didn't look it up. That's my point.
Well, I didn't remember that I was supposed to look anything up.
Well, okay, maybe you don't know.
I mean, come on.
Ooh, spitting is gross.
I do that?
No, Fantinuum said that he's going to spit in his comic book. That's actual DNA, though. They'll get you for that. They'll put you on the file, man. You can't just spit in public anymore. The FBI is watching.
All right, are you ready? What did I say? Who did I say it was? What comic book did I say? Anybody remember?
No.
Okay, here we go, though.
Does anybody remember? I don't remember.
Damn. It's okay. I can go back and look, and I'm going to be right. It was Malibu Comics, and it was Protectors #5. And Tom Derenick, I'm pretty sure, did the artwork. And there is his name on the cover with Mike Deodato on inks. Holy cow.
You were learning something?
No, I freaking told you, and I'm gonna let you know something else, everybody.
No, you didn't say anything about Mike Diodato.
No, you didn't. No. When I told you last week
Yeah.
that, and this was just a guess because I'm not one of those guys that has to, put down every information about a comic book unless I'm like telling you notes and stuff about stuff. And I told you when I read Doomsday Clock, I bet you that Watchmen took place on Mars in issue 9 also. I went back and I looked at the nice edition that came out this last week through DC Comics, the Black Label hardcover slipcase Watchmen edition that I sold out of. And I looked, and sure as shit, issue number 9 was on Mars. Doomsday Clock was excellent. Its attention to detail was there all the way through. Highly recommend that book also.
Nice,
but that's the kind of stuff
transition there, buddy. That was good.
That's the kind of stuff you'll get here. You'll get a little bit of information that you can tell people. I'm not looking it up on the internet until after I've made a statement. And there I am. I'm told you. Protectors, number 5. It had the bullet hole through it.
All right, here you go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Look up Jab number 3.
Jab number 3, JAB.
Yep.
Why am I looking that up?
Just do it.
All right. What are you going to say in the meantime?
I'm going to tell you how there's a Too Much Coffee Man issue with a bullet hole through it.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Uh-huh.
Jab number 3.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, but this is we're talking about famous ones.
Dude, it's Too Much Coffee Man, and it's got a bullet hole through it.
I'm looking right now.
Now, I realize that I'm not 100% accurate, but you know me, and you know that I'm never 100% accurate.
First off, it's not Too Much Coffee Man. It's Jab.
Yeah, what did I just say? What did I just say?
And Jab. All right, anyway, this is the bullet hole issue of this great Austin Comics anthology. It's not even all Shannon Wheeler.
Dude, I'm sorry that I was not 100% accurate, but is there not a Too Much Coffee Man issue with a bullet hole through it?
All right, but hold on. This is important. Contributors to this issue include Shannon Wheeler, Ted Nafee. He's a San Francisco. He's signing our story. He's a cool dude. Very, very well dressed. And Tom King.
Is it the Tom King?
I don't know.
I bet you it is.
Tom King?
I bet you it's the Tom King.
It says author. I'm going to click on this. Holy shit.
Dude,
Mr.
you need
Miracle. Oh, by the way, Heroes in Crisis comes out tomorrow sometime.
And ladies and gentlemen, you can buy it now for $39.99.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. It's on eBay.
What are you talking about?
It's on eBay right now.
Oh, Jab?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at it on Amazon. Anyway, Tom King. Wow, everybody. I wonder what his early stuff looks like.
Oh, it's $4 shipping.
Anyway, there you go. Wow, now we're all learning something today. Holy cow.
That's pretty cool, right?
Tom King. I'm going to have to write that. We're going to have to Jab number 3. Let me write that one down so I can remember.
I remember it because I worked in a cafe that had a comic book store attached to it when I lived in Austin.
Oh, that sounds like a dream.
It was kind of a dream, except it was a shitty job. But yeah, it was a son and mother, and the mother ran the cafe, and the son had the little comic book store, and he sold magic cards and comic books. And whatever. I mean, I was around comics at the time in Austin, so I knew. That's that story, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked that story, tune in next week for more just like it. Probably not.
So I like Black Badge number 8. It was.
Oh, we're still talking about Black Badge. Matt Kent, you're pretty great. I think you and I both like you.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yep.
So, moving on.
What else did you read?
I read Avengers number 17.
Oh, do you have it? Do you have it at home?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
So we don't have anything to look at except for you or me.
No, this is it. I mean, I have my background, so look at that Spider-Man picture if you can't stand looking at my face.
Who's that lady to the left of Spider-Man?
Oh, Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson is not a superhero.
She's Black Widow, and she's my superhero.
Black Widow is on your wall.
Yeah, she is.
Cool. So tell me about the Avengers.
Speaking of the Avengers, she's not in this one, Scarlett Johansson or the Black Widow. And this is the end of the Vampire War story that's going on right now. So you got Blade, and you have the rest of the Avengers, which is Ghost Rider, who recently got basically owned by or pwned by this like dog creature. Anyway, there's a Dracula. Oh, here, I'll read what I wrote. We see the end of the Vampire War, but nothing really gets settled. It leaves a future open for more story with the vampires. Blade joins the team, and there's some really cool returns of characters, not including the Ghost Rider, who comes out to save the day at the most opportune moment possible. It was really good art by David Marquez. Jason Aaron told a really good story. I didn't feel that any issue felt like filler at all. And he is always really good at telling a story through dialogue with characters talking with each other. Good stuff.
Very nice.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I like dialogue too. It's a funny thing. Like some people are so good with dialogue that you don't need any prose. And I don't know how they do it. I was telling Jill before we started the show that I read that novel Strong Poison by Dorothy L. Sayers from 1930. And her book, almost the entire thing is dialogue.
Yeah. It's
It's
like a
weird.
play.
Dude, I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how you put that much flavor into the dialogue so that you don't need anything else or very little description. It's amazing. But some people can do it. And I think it's just a quality. It's a style of writing, but it's also a sign of quality, I think.
Yeah, I think Jason Aaron does a very good job. A lot of people like Brian Azzarello's work. I think it can be a little hammy at times, but overall he has a very good style, at least as far as like having a character voice, which is good.
Do you agree with Fantinuum?
Let me see here. Yeah, exposition is it's a difficult thing. I mean, it's hard to balance, how much information you want to give. And I guess it really depends on like how much time you have to tell your story and how much, you want to actually, you don't like those pages. If we're talking about comic books, we don't really like those pages where it's just like, two heads just talking the whole time. There has to be some, and then you had like your superheroes, and they would always have like really big exposition dumps in the middle of in the middle of a fight. So somewhere in between, you kind of want to do that just a little bit. You want to make your information dumps a little bit more exciting, not necessarily like an HBO program, your sexposition. I'm not sure if we were talking about that last time or not, but it's been a popular theme recently, I guess, because the Game of Thrones is coming back on.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's what it is. And whether I meant to or not, it's definitely pervading in the store.
I think, yeah, you absorb more pop culture than I do.
It happens.
No, I know. I definitely I get it.
I get asked all the time about TV and movies, and I'm sure a lot of people think I'm just being a dick, but I'm really the most dickish thing is that I'm very happy that I don't consume too much TV or film or anything or movies or anything like that. That most of my entertainment is comic books, maybe a little bit of social media, and then what we're doing with these things.
Yeah, no, but you have to understand that no, you don't have to understand anything, but it's good for you to kind of accept that in your position. I think they're right to assume that you might like TV and stuff, and they're looking.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You should really.
Well, you never listen to anybody's recommendation, and no offense to anybody in chat that might think that people do that. and no, they don't.
Oh, come on, I do too. I do. People tell me things are good. I should check it out. There's oftentimes I do that. I just don't.
But you're probably real selective about who you listen to.
Well, that's true. I mean, if someone's bringing up only Transformers, there's probably a good chance I'm not going to read the Transformers book that they're interested in.
Did you read this G.I. Joe? So good.
Oh, G.I. Joe, Sierra Muerte, Volume 2 or Number 2 comes out tomorrow. That's
Okay.
Michelle Fife.
I hate G.I. Joe.
Yeah, but Michelle Fife I love.
I know you do.
Actually, I like G.I. Joe quite a bit. They kind of put the superhero in the military aspect, and I gave each person a character that was more than just like the gunner or the, you see, I don't know anybody in military, the tank guy, let's say. I know so little about military.
The tanker? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, but I am genuinely lost.
The bazooka, the guy that holds the medical kit.
I think that's a medic.
Give me
I don't know either.
Striker action, baby. Give me Snake Eyes. Oh, I love the ninja. All right, when I go and I in my next life, when I sign up to be in the military, I'm gonna say, I want to be the ninja. Army. I want to be the ninja, please.
Well, I mean, I understand that motivation is pure, Yule. It's pure.
So, G.I. Joe's hilarious. and I want everybody to know that my Snake Eyes silent issue is intact and in a nice Mylar. Oh yeah, darn. I was going to show you Gerber stuff, but you'll have to
baby food.
No, we'll talk about it in a second. Let me tell you about Justice League since I just told you about Avengers.
Yeah, okay. They do go together, don't they?
They do. They like ham and eggs.
Yeah. Yes.
So Justice League is written by Scott Snyder, and it has art this time by Jorge Jimenez. This is part 2. This issue has the League going to the 6th dimension with the Superman that ushered them in. And they are, they see dual versions of themselves, but older in a utopia. And this is after a big war that occurred. And we see how the League has changed. Hawkgirl and Martian Manhunter are married with a kid. And there's a real cool scene where the kid actually warns them about something. We don't know exactly what, because that scene was on a cliffhanger. That's about it for this ish. Supes also had a brief appearance. Superman, I'm sorry, had a brief appearance. We remember at the end of the last issue, we found out that he was captured and alone in a dark room or dark area, and his solar radiation that supercharges him is waning, and he can't get out. So at the end of this issue, the future or 6th dimension Superman confronts him, and there's going to be a big old thing going on next issue. This was a nice issue as far as finding out what was going on, but it didn't let us in on every secret. It didn't feel too much like filler, although it had a little bit of a hint of that. Overall, it had really, really great art and was an excellent issue. I liked this Justice League quite a bit, and I have been actually for about 4 or 5 issues now.
Justice League, everybody.
I wish I could show them the triptych cover. The Justice League came out with 3 covers this week instead of DC's normal 2, and they are excellent. They look really cool.
But they're at work.
It has, so you have a middle piece that has Justice League where it belongs, and then you have the variant covers, which has Justice League in small letters on the bottom, and it has the Justice League that we're accustomed to and the 6th dimension Justice League on the other side, and they're coming towards each other in combat. It's fantastic.
It sounds good. Sounds good.
I would recommend following Fantinuum on Instagram if you want to check those out. He puts up all that stuff every Wednesday evening.
Ooh, let's take a look.
Yeah, so go do that.
So Fantinuum, you have comics from no. Today's Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, all day.
Today's my grandmother's 90th birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Grandma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you talk for just a moment, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna look up Fantinuum on Instagram. I was posting my own stuff on Instagram, but it's not comic book related. But I'm gonna see if I can't find him real quick. I'm gonna find you as Lul Stamp, which is my personal file.
All right, I'm back.
Son of a biscuit. We didn't get anywhere, Yule. Jesus, slow down.
Well, I'm sorry. I wanted to show everybody what a Gerber board is like, as opposed to a normal board.
Oh yeah. Okay, go. I want to see this too.
Yeah. So everybody is accustomed, I'm assuming, to a regular bag and board. A board is double-sided, often with double coating of, I don't know, wax. It's supposed to be,
yes,
acid-free.
but aren't they already acid-free?
I don't know. I just got these to see how they were because I heard they're the best. So I'm going to hold these up. Will you let me know if you can see them? And yeah,
a piece of paper.
Okay, so this is a board, and it has, I don't know if you can see it almost looks like it has granulations, I guess.
There's definitely not a light and powerful enough to
Yeah,
resolution on it.
It's not working, but these are very cloth feeling. And I'm not sure how much I like them, but they're supposed to be better than the normal boards. So I've been putting my more expensive and key issues in them. But anyway, sorry that didn't really work out. This camera is not as good as the one at the store, and that one's not so great either.
Well, either way, I mean, it would be hard to, it would need to be very high resolution. And we're not, I don't think we broadcast on anything higher than 720 anyway.
Yeah, probably.
So you're not going to, doesn't matter how good your camera is, it's not going to be good enough for what we're doing. Hey, does it say what they're made of?
Let me take a look.
Is there any rag in there or cotton?
I don't know. I mean, it does feel,
because you can do anything with printing nowadays, anything at all, like texture, it doesn't matter, but like they can make it out of different materials too that would.
So these are full back acid-free backing boards. They are the highest quality backing board available anywhere, made from 100% acid-free 42 mil thick cardboard. What is that, millimeter?
Yeah.
It says it's produced with a 3% alkaline buffer throughout and maintains pH of 8.0 plus to further ensure the preservation of your collectible. Holy cow. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds great.
The mill, like if you get a trash bag, they do the like industrial trash bags in mill thickness, and like plastic bags are done in mill thickness, and like the higher the number, the
I understood that more than anything.
What does it say? It was 0.42?
I don't know what it said.
How thick? How mill? The mill.
How mill? I think it had an 8 in it. 42 mil.
So it's got to be 0.42.
All right. Oh, there you go. It's a base coating. The texture feels like a weave. Yeah, it totally does.
No, maybe it is 8.
So it's GERBER.
It would be pretty thick.
I didn't get an account with them because I wanted to see how they were, but I got a 50 count board and Mylar. Actually, it's Mylite. That's the thinner version of Mylar, like this. See how it flops around. So those are nice. I like those. Those are, man, back in the day, my father had a chance to buy the patent for the machine that makes Mylars. And we were in the process of buying a ton of comic books back in the day. and we were using Mylar for all of them, and he considered it heavily to get that, the opportunity to make that machine, because it would have saved us a lot of money, and then we could have, like, maybe, who knows, distributed Mylar everywhere. Mylar's still around to this day, and wow, I don't know. I think that we should have done it, but who knows?
Maybe the comic industry would have collapsed if you had
been involved more.
Is your family considered lucky?
No, Carter luck is not good luck at all.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, what if he had, he buys the patent, and then in that alternate timeline, some guy comes up with Trilar.
Yeah.
And sells those, and your family becomes, destitute, and Trilar is everywhere.
Hey, would you like to hear about a comic book I do have in my hands?
Yeah, sure.
Look, can you see that cover right there?
Ooh, G. Willow Wilson.
Yeah. I'm going to hold this up. Oh, there we go. That's better. That's The Invisible Kingdom. That's also Christian Ward doing the art. This is a sci-fi comic about two women. I'm going to open that up for you. One is a purple one, and one is green. The purple one is Rulian and wants to be a nun. That's None as opposed to NUN. I'm going to show you what they look like. Let me get this page. Let me get that right there. They have these little headgear. They have a saying. I can't remember what it was, but something about seeing. So that's the reason why they keep themselves kind of blinded. Anyway, the green one's a pilot. She is an exporter for a company called Lux, and she crashes with her crew on this planet. And when she's going through the cargo, the manifest, she finds a, I don't know, it's some sort of, I can't quite remember exactly, but it's some sort of, what did I say? A money laundering scheme. There was some sort of, not everything was jiving with what they were supposed to be holding on to. And the thing is that over in the convent, the character named Vess, that's the Rulian, she finds out something that has to do with that money, that missing money also. So in some way, we're going to get a convergence of stories between these two characters. The artwork's excellent. It looks really good. There's not really one thing wrong about that I could really say. Maybe it's a little too computery. I don't know. Overall, it looked really good. Christian Ward's a good artist. Look at that.
It looks like that movie Solaris in a way.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but then we've already talked about that kind of stuff. I thought the characters were okay. There was some humor. Nothing really important as far as like characterization. There is obviously people that don't really respect Rulians as a race of people. There are when they are referred to negatively, people are calling them it, and actually saying, "Oh, look at it. Why is it so small?" That type of thing, and that's kind of rude, obviously. They're also supposedly some of the best poets as far as the nuns are concerned. It's a pretty good looking book. I liked it. I think I might check out the next issue. If you're in, this is Karen Berger is the editor of these books. This is a Berger book. It's part of Dark Horse. They got her to do comic books for them and bring on talent that, they haven't had for a while. So she's doing a pretty good job with most of her stuff, or of the stuff that's coming out, I should say. She Could Fly was one of the books that I read that was pretty good. There was the Anthony Bourdain one, Mata Hari. This is pretty good. I liked it enough to want to read the second issue. I think it's pretty good. It's not glowing marks, but the art is definitely a driver, and there's enough of a mystery to make you want to read the next part.
Do you find it difficult to maintain interest in a comic book if it's like got a slow burn to it?
No, not necessarily. This is going to be a mini series, I assume, like almost all her other books. Karen Berger books, I should say, that are coming out through Dark Horse. So I think the slow burn, within 4 to 6 issues, I think almost all of them have been 4 issues anyway. It's not that big a deal. I think the question is like, where am I going to really care about the characters going forward? And is that going to be like, is the concept, is what's going on in the story enough to drive it home if I don't have any characters I really identify with or care about, or just want to see? I mean, watching somebody become a nun is not necessarily my most, big deal.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds a little bit dull in that regard. I was wondering, were there any particular hooks that were intended to make you interested in the characters?
I think the hook is like how this is going to relate in the convent with the pilot who works for this big conglomerate that ships stuff all over the place.
Yeah, but
there you go.
I don't care about it. I care about the character. I don't care about the plane crash. I don't care about the monastery. I don't care how they're connected. I care about the people, and then I'll care about how they're connected.
I don't know. I think it feels very sci-fi. I think it's a perfect, story first, structure first, character second, maybe third. I mean, it seems pretty typical, actually.
Okay.
I think you might like it, actually. And I mean, again, it's beautifully drawn. I'll tell you what is very good that I really enjoyed quite a bit that I read. And I read this Little Bird right here. And this is fantastic. I like this a lot. This
Can
is
you tilt it so we can see the people along the top, the written part of the people on the top.
Yeah. Darcy Van something.
Poltergeist. I'm pretty sure her name's Poltergeist.
Yeah, exactly.
Darcy. I don't know if that's a man's name or a woman's name, to be honest.
Ian Bertram. Then we say they, I think, is the word. They wrote a very good story. It feels very Dune also. There's a big fat woman that's kind of like leading everything. But behind the scenes, there's this minister, I guess. I posted a picture on Instagram. I can't remember if it was Filthy Burger or Fantastic Comics. I guess I should have remembered.
What was the image?
Look at this. It was this one right here. They're the Army of 12. Hello, that sinners. That dude gets like split down the middle. The violence in this book is awesome.
I like violence.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like there's gunplay, but it's army-ish. And basically we are in the far future in Canada, and we are seeing this small, maybe rebel alliance, like get ready for battle. And our main character, who looks like this, well, I shouldn't say the main character of that scene, takes her daughter, Little Bird, and says, get down here, don't come out, follow the plan. And 3 days later, everybody, I mean, it's messed up. Everybody's dead. It's just like desolate all around her. She comes up out and she has to go free the axe. And the axe, we find out, is a person in prison that she has to go and free. And that's when all hell breaks loose. It was really good. I like the story quite a bit. This is a 5-issue miniseries. And fans of like heavy metal or Conan, I guess. It's a little bit more futuristic than Conan only. But as far as like the violence and ripping people up, it is so sweet. I liked it a lot.
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
Who published it?
Image.
Damn.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite Image book I've read in quite a while.
And it's a #1?
Yeah, it's a #1. It's a 5-issue miniseries.
How many covers did they have?
I don't remember any, but I only got the one, I think. I bought a ton of them too.
I wish I was joking.
Well, I answered you like you weren't.
I know, but I wasn't joking.
I'm sure there might have been another cover, whatever. It happens.
It happens to every book. That's the problem.
So the problem with all right, Fantinium buys every DC cover, I'll have you know, and God bless you. But having said that, all the DC alternate covers are almost better than the main ones.
Oh, yes.
So that's really worth it. So if you're the kind of person that likes alternate covers, DC's killing it right now. And so I don't know where I was going with that. There's a lot of covers though these days. Oh yeah, so if you're not selling comics well, like let's say you can only sell 10 normally, and you find that now you're selling 5. Well, the best way to do that is to have if you buy 10 comics, I'm going to give you an ability to buy an alternate cover. So it's like 1 in 10. And then they say, well, if you get 90% of a previous comic that you sold at, or that you ordered at whatever, at X, then you can opt in to buy these covers. And so where they normally were buying 5, you've downgraded your sales from 10 to 5, or orders, I should say. You start ordering the 5, but then you get the alternate cover. Or maybe they're saying, all the covers are available. You just order as many as you want. And you're like, fudge, I might as well get 5 of the one cover and 5 of the other. And now you're up at 10, and you're hoping someone either buys both of them, or somebody that doesn't normally buy the book will buy it just because of the cover. It happens quite often. I got to admit, I have bought comics if only just for the cover. It doesn't happen very often, but when it's like a variant and it's a character that I really like and I think it jives with the comic book that I like, I'll get it. I'm a sucker.
I don't think you're a sucker. I would do it too if I loved a book. I would buy the covers.
Yeah, man. It's like those Subterranean Erickson books. Oh.
So they're publishing something else in the same style. I'm trying to remember what it was. It had fold-out maps, and I don't think I've read it, whatever it was, because I wasn't that interested. But they're doing it for other series too, so you might look out for them.
You gotta love a fold-out map.
I mean, just a really beautifully illustrated version of a book is amazing. Like they put out those the illustrated Harry Potters not too recently. I don't know when they came out. I missed them, but I would like that kind of stuff just because artists. They really do add stuff sometimes to the story.
Yeah, definitely.
Do anyhow.
Yeah.
Like with comic books.
Yeah, like comic books. Oh, hey, I remember last week I told you that Hickman is going to be writing for Marvel.
Yeah, I remember the full page ad that was just his name.
So the week before we were looking at one of the previous ads, and there was some more typeset stuff, and I can't remember what it was, but I read it. It was pointed out to me by our buddy Jeff. I read it, and I said, that sounds like mutants. He's all, do you think this has to do with that Hickman thing? And I said, that's the only thing it could possibly be. So at C2E2, which was last weekend, that's in Chicago, Marvel announced that Hickman is going to be doing 2 bi-weekly miniseries that are both X-Men related.
Okay.
I do believe I suggested that maybe he was doing X-Men stuff. I can't remember if I did that only at the store or on the show last week, but
I think you did it on the show.
Oh, excellent. So there you go. There's another thing. Yeah, I'm really excited, except I don't really love the idea that he's going to be just doing miniseries, or at least going forward.
I don't like the idea of bi-weekly. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the bi-weekly. All right. So I've said in the past that if you take a book that was weekly or bi-weekly and you put them out, or you look at them as if they came out monthly, like a comic book should come out, would you enjoy the series? And when we were talking about X-Men Disassembled, or maybe that Avengers No Surrender, I don't think they really work if I look at them in a 10-part monthly or 16-month, book or story. They had to jam this stuff out. In the 90s, there was a comic story called Millennium, and DC put it out, and it was utter crap, and they had to put it out weekly. And it was good that they put it out weekly, because it wasn't until the 6th issue that you realized, oh my God, this is crap. So, I'm not suggesting that the Marvel stuff is necessarily crap. There have actually been some good weekly things that have come out, but overall, I'm not a big fan of it. Although I am a big fan of Jonathan Hickman. I have a lot of faith in him, and I don't think he's going to change stories necessarily just to put filler material in. Usually you get a rich, thick story that has a lot of moving parts in it. And so I don't think you're going to be disappointed that something comes out quick, because it's going to allow a quick reread when you read the next parts that are going to be so very, mired with importance. That's
okay. I agree completely. Like if it's done well, coming out fast is great. But you said there were 2 bi-weekly miniseries. So are they literally going to alternate? So there's a book every week?
Yeah, so one's I think called House of X, and the other one's called Power of X. So assume House comes out one week, then Power, then House, then Power, then House, then Power, then House, then Power. The only question is, when those are done, is he going to continue the X-Men? Is he going to continue the X-Men that's going on, and then what happens to Matthew Rosenberg, who's writing it right now? Or are they going to give him a brand new title altogether? Or should they give him the Uncanny X-Men? Are they just going to have him restarted again at a new #1 so that we can have 42 new covers, so that we can have
yes.
Oh my God. See, I'm a big Jonathan Hickman fan, and I have a lot of faith in whatever he's doing is going to be good. But the way Marvel exploits us with this bowl, it really gets... It's tough sometimes, man. As a comic store owner, the guy who does the ordering, you just get down. As much as you want to get excited about something, the system is really a millstone, I guess.
It's the albatross about one's neck.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yep, that's the one. Hey, so you're gonna order this Hickman duo or whatever. You're gonna order them heavily.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I hope this can get people to like X-Men again. The last time he wrote a comic book, we were very successful in the store. People were coming back all the time to get his stuff, and they were buying other things also. So this could be a boon. He has good illustrators working on him with this series. There's R.B. Silva and Pepe Perez, or one of those guys. It doesn't matter. It's a good one, a good artist working with him. So Marvel's putting their best foot forward on this. So I'm hoping that this can be a very successful thing. Unfortunately, they also mentioned at C2E2 that they're going to be doing Infinity Warps as another mini-series. And it's like, man, you have events after events after events. And there's this one guy I follow on Twitter. He's like, dude, if everything is an event, then nothing is an event. I mean, they announced that there's going to be a Carnage event with with Donny Cates writing it. He's the guy who does Venom. He's the guy who does Guardians of the Galaxy. He's great. But it's like, oh my God, there's going to be another event. Even though I have faith that this guy is going to be doing something good, it really takes away from this other stuff that I'm supposed to be concentrating on. I'm also supposed to be concentrating on War for the Realms, which is coming out in like another couple weeks, or War of the Realms, I should say, which is coming out in the next couple weeks. And, that's going to go on for like 6 issues, 6 months, or however long it's going to take to come out. And it's going to happen during the same time as all this other crap is going to be going on. And it's like, you're asking your fans to buy so much that it's difficult. And when things come out bi-weekly, when things come out weekly, they don't usually have enough time to digest this stuff or even actually read it in the first place, because it's just sitting like those piles right there. Those piles are waiting to be filed away, though. But most people, that's a big pile of stuff that they haven't read because, dude, that's only 2 months of comic books because it comes out. I've got 5 books that come out every 2 weeks. I've got the Justice League. I've got Avengers. I've got whatever. I got whatever. I got X-Men comes out bi-weekly. Spider-Man Deadpool comes out bi-weekly. Spider-Man comes out this week. It's good. It's that whole Hunted storyline. That comes out bi-weekly. That's 5 titles. In 1 month, that's 10 books. In 2 months, that's 20 books, and on and on and on. That's a big freaking stack after and I didn't read any of them. I don't even know if I like them. I do. I know I liked them because I wrote it down right here.
That's okay.
Uncanny X-Men number 14. I'm going to finish with this.
I liked it because I wrote down that I said I liked it.
Cyclops and Wolverine have been getting remaining former X-Men together. In this issue, Cyclops and Wolverine meet with Val Cooper. Val Cooper, to all of you that have not read X-Men before, she was always the mutant liaison to like the president or to the government. She doesn't have that job anymore, but she still gave Cyclops some information as to, so he had to relocate the Morlocks because they're having a tough time down in the tunnels. So she found out about some rebels that needed clearing out in Chernaya, whatever, some country. And if Cyclops and Wolverine and the rest of his X-Men on the sly took care of those rebels, the government would reciprocate the favor and allow the Morlocks to stick out. As a result of doing that, Chamber had met his obligations and he joins the X-Men. Yay. Pretty good issue. The art kind of sucks, though. I'm not a big Salvador Larroca fan. As far as storytelling and art, there's still a choppiness and a movement throughout story that doesn't seem to take place properly within this X-Men book. I'm not sure if it's the art, the editing, or the writing. It doesn't totally jive all the time. Overall, it's a pretty good X-Men book. But, if it doesn't get better, we'll see what Marvel does when Hickman's done with his miniseries.
Do you think that they are kind of like producing filler material that is every single book on some level they understand it in a spectrum of quality and how well it will actually sell for them? And so they have these events to kind of maintain interest until something like Hickman's run comes along where they know the quality itself is going to carry the product and generate interest and money. And then they can kind of rest on their laurels, as it were, for a little while until they can generate another genuine event like Hickman.
Yeah. There was a time when it seemed like Hickman was going to go to DC. For whatever reason, that didn't happen.
Money.
DC notoriously is paying money for their creators more than Marvel. Marvel has
sex.
They have their creators that are with the company, but we talked last week how Mike Deodato's leaving. Stuart Immonen isn't working with them anymore. Jim Chang left for DC. And more importantly, Brian Michael Bendis left for DC. And that probably was a weight of money that was lifted from Marvel's back. But, now that's DC's detriment, possibly. Or at least that's the way I see it. Going into this episode, I was going to let everybody know that I am done with Brian Michael Bendis books.
Do you mean your store is done?
Oh, it can never be done. I mean, I would never not carry something that somebody wants. And we sell uh Superman fine. We sell Action Comics fine. We sell Pearl fine. We sell Bendis fine. But I personally am done with reading Brian Michael Bendis books.
Okay.
The
What
last
happened?
the last issue of Superman, the last couple of, ever since he started with Man of Steel, I've been really disappointed with it. Overall, I've tried to like find the little nuggets of the book that are worth reading, and almost always it's the characters that aren't the main character. And often in his books, it tends to be that case. You know, there's the villain I like more. In Superman recently, it was Zod. And Superman does something very un-Superman-like. And it's not kill someone. It's he doesn't keep a promise. And it's so dicked a move that Superman wouldn't do that. It's very upsetting. You know, recently, Zack Snyder got called out by a lot of comic book people because he was having a Twitter conversation or something conversation about the fact that we got to get over the fact that, you know what, he made those movies, Superman kills, Batman kills, get over it, you know, that type of stuff. And a lot of comic book writers were like, oh, no, he doesn't kill. I remember like Ethan Van Sciver was like, when I come into DC Comics, they always set you down and say, hey, you got to respect these characters. They've existed before you. They're going to exist after you. And it's our job to make sure that these characters stick around for a long time and remain the way they are. But, you know, anytime something is made that pisses someone off, whether it's She-Ra or Captain Marvel, or and usually it's remakes that do this stuff, you know, that get people all upset. Thundercats, whatever the hell it may be. People always say that, oh, Star Wars, it's not for you. It's for kids. These are the things that you gotta just settle with it. Just don't watch it. You don't have to say anything about it. But everybody was coming out against Zack Snyder and saying that this guy doesn't freaking get it. You know what? I'm going to say the same thing to all these people. It's not for you. Shut up. It doesn't matter. What are you, toxic? You know, I mean, it's just, come on, people. Just a
Well, that was a Yule rant. I don't believe I've seen one of those lately.
Well, you know, I mean, in some way, I'm being a little devil's advocate. You know, I've seen a lot of the people that want to talk about Superman and how he should act in a movie. You know what? We've seen so many Superman movies. Everybody,
all boring.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, hey, they teach their own, but you know, these are just stories we're telling with these characters. And I mean, if freaking Hawkeye can be demasculinized, chopped off at the nuts by Lady Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, in the Hawkeye books, and if you know, if that can happen and it's okay and you got to just take it, if you know, Superman or if Spider-Man has got to take a back seat to Miles Morales, and that's the way it's got to be, oh well, it's got to be that way. Well, then I'm saying the same thing to the people that can't handle Superman. Oh well, it's just got to be that way. I just want someone to watch this freaking movie, he says. Just watch this Justice League movie. But I will say this: Cyborg flying and throwing somebody ahead is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That was in Justice League.
Yeah, I remember the ad.
So I'm not watching this. I mean, this is crap. What did he throw, Aquaman or something like that?
It's like, toss the dwarf.
That's the worst. So there you go on that. That's how I feel about that.
Toss me.
Yeah, it's been on Hulu and I still haven't watched it.
Oh yeah, you have Hulu.
Yeah, sure. Zack Snyder.
I was real worried when Blade Runner came out because I love the original movie, and I mean, sure, everything you say is there's a perspective for all of it, but Blade Runner to me is this perfect gem, and anybody tinkering with it is they're trying to cut new facets in it, and I don't want that.
It's sacrament, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the rare examples where the movie's better than the book. It's to me, it's a perfect movie. No, I'm not really comfortable with people playing with it. He did all right. He didn't destroy it, but I don't think that it really needed a remake, or not a remake, but a sequel.
Well, I just feel bad that, there's a lot of people that, for whatever reason, they wear their emotions on their sleeve when it comes to some sort of something that they like, whether it's a sports team or a comic book character or a movie franchise. And anytime again, I said it at the very beginning of the show, comic book stores and comic books are almost like made specifically for the fan to bitch about what's going on in the book. It doesn't mean that they don't like it. They love it so much that they want to complain about it to another person. And that's the only place you can do it. And I know that, with Twitter and social media, that you can actually contact and insult the creators of said work.
Thank God.
You could have done that in the old days. I remember
write a letter.
I remember many a time in the letters column, somebody would say, "Oh, I know you only print the good stuff, but I got this to say." I read a lot of crappy letters, and it's awesome because that's how I really think that comic books have really, really changed when they got rid of the letters pages in a column in a comic book. It's very important to have a conversation about it and to read that other people have feelings of it that aren't just, "Oh, this is the greatest thing. Oh, I cried when I read this book. Oh my God, you're just the best thing ever." No, goddamn. Say something sucks. That's the best thing about comic books, is to say something sucks. And, there you go. Something sucks. Corporate comics suck.
Comics suck. Okay, but where would you see you can't really conceive of them putting a letters page back in these comics, right?
Sometimes Marvel does.
They do?
Yeah, and sometimes Image Comics, depending on the book, will also. It's all dependent on the creator, but Saga has a very awesome column, or a letters column, usually about 3 to 4 pages long.
And don't they have really loyal fans?
Well, of course they do, but I've read where people actually have legitimate conversations about many a thing that goes on in that book, and whether or not, they don't always agree with the things that are going on. I think Saga especially has some of the most diverse opinions going on, but they are, for the most part, loving the stuff.
Right.
Yeah. For the most part, anybody that's going to write in is probably going to like it. And then everybody else is going to hate it. So
they're going to be paying attention. So regardless of, yes, they're interested in it, or they wouldn't be writing.
It's better to be loved and hated than ambivalent, right?
I don't know how I feel about that. Hey, how do you pronounce sycophant?
I say it just that way.
Okay. Me too.
If Morrissey says it that way, I say it that way.
I've heard people pronounce it weirdly.
I have also. Today in this show, we are saying sycophant.
I'm pretty sure it's sycophant.
And I agree with Chris about the Superman stuff, by the way.
Is Yule reading chat?
I am reading chat. Superman's a tough character. I know we've had the conversation about it before, and how he's boring. I personally don't believe so. I have Superman action figures. Maybe this will prove that I kind of dig the character. They're just lying around here right now because I'm cleaning up. Anyhow, I think he's a good character. I don't think he's boring. I think there's boring stories, obviously, but some of my favorite things have been Superman books, when they do things that you don't normally expect to have happen. but for the most part, I'm not too. I don't dig on him killing people too often.
I wouldn't either. It seems out of character, and I don't care for him.
Well, I mean, the thing about a superhero, and again, I do agree with EVS when it comes to it, is that a superhero is supposed to be heroic. He's supposed to do heroic things. He's supposed to be a model of something that you aspire to be. If you're Spider-Man, you're the guy that gets back up and gets something done when you couldn't do it before. You always try. You never stop. With great power comes great responsibility. Silver Surfer has, a fantastic story where he's just trying to get back to his love of his life. He's stuck on Earth and he has to, that's one of the stories. He has to work for Galactus, and he does that so he can save the planet where the woman he loves lives. You do superhero. You have to suffer for other people. Spider-Man can't tell you who he is. That is a problem with the movies. They always try and let you know who the character is to the other, norms, normie people. They're not supposed to know that you're Spider-Man. You're not supposed to know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. So on and so forth.
What was the movie where the actor refused to wear the mask that was supposed? It was Judge Dredd, I think. No,
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
That's
right. He wouldn't wear the mask.
He was too pretty for it.
He's too vain for it. But I think that
you'd look cool if you wore that, you dumb shit.
I think it would be very nice, but
it would be awesome. And then the funny thing is he does a better Judge Dredd movie in Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. Hold on, remembering.
Yeah, Demolition. Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. Okay,
so sweet. That is like, it's not Judge Dredd as far as like it's like it's not a police state as far as like turn yourself in or I'll come after you. You littered, that type of thing. But it is a police state, and like they can't touch each other when they're having sex, and they listen to frickin' commercials on their radio stations and stuff like that. And I love that. I love that movie quite a bit. I think Demolition Man is a great satire. Fantastic movie.
I don't remember it.
Yeah,
I remember liking it as a kid. That's what I remember.
And I'll tell you, I'm going to say this right now. What's her name? Who was in Speed?
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock. Good booty in this movie. Her booty is a cutie.
She's a very beautiful woman. She is. She's very pretty.
Oh, yeah, sure. I don't want to do that other stuff.
So cod pieces, I just want to go back there real quick because we were talking about Blade Runner earlier because that's my bend. But the cop Deckard and that they all wear cod pieces on Earth because the radiation, they don't want to get sterilized. It's so polluted they wear cod pieces.
All right, very good.
Who else wore a cod piece? Pretty sure all of the 70s rockers, David Bowie, Rod Stewart.
They wore cod pieces in A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, that's very true and very, very memorable.
That's also Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell, yep. You didn't say Malcolm.
I did too.
No.
I said Roddy and Malcolm.
I remember Roddy McDowell, and I have no idea who that is. But Malcolm McDowell, yeah, I know who that is.
They're brothers.
Didn't know that. Who is Roddy Dowellman?
Roddy Dowellman.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, man.
Not familiar with that guy.
Oh, dear God. Hey, it's 10:43, man. I think we're running long, huh?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
All right. I want to thank everybody that tuned in for tonight's episode, whether it's live or after the fact. Don't forget, there are going to be comics in our store tomorrow. I don't know when, but we will keep you apprised on Twitter, on Instagram, and Facebook at Fantastic Comics. If you want to follow me, sorry about that. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Filthy Burger or on Twitter at Big Blue Yule. That's BIGBLUEUEL. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week at 8, hopefully with comics that I can show you that are coming out.
Am I doing this right?
I hope so. That was pretty good. Do you want to mention anything? Want to mention our podcast? I also do a science fiction and fantasy podcast with Lul over there. It's called Science Fiction and Fantasy Read Along. And right now we are reading Black Company by what's his name?
Glenn Cook.
Glenn Cook. And we are on the 3rd chapter called Raker.
Yes, and we are going to record that on Thursday.
So look for it on Friday.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
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 Thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye, guys.